let's go into it. So number one, SDR is a great job. And it's great because you get to understand the fundamentals of a business to business go-to-market engine. So for me, I wanted to learn how to do cold outbound because it was a really good skill set. And it is a very useful skill set, but also in the process, I realized that as an SDR, I'm sitting in between the closers and sales operations and marketing. And you get to learn the fundamentals of how things actually work and what is and what isn't important. And I learned more about how a B2B company works in about 2 months as an SDR than I learned in 2 years trying to start a B2B company myself. The other thing that I really enjoy about sales is the people you end up working with. I always assumed when I was a kid that eventually you get a job and you grow up and you get kind of boring. And I think that is true in a lot of jobs, but in sales, there's really no incentive to get boring. And when you have your sales kickoffs or when you have meetings with all of the salespeople, you'll notice that they're just like a bunch of people that never got boring. And so that's also kind of fun. One interesting thing about being an SDR that you'll notice is that there's no way to do everything that would be good to do in the time that you have. It's just not possible. Like, it would be good for you to clean all of your data, but you're not going to be able to do that. It would be good for you to write an hour-long email to all 1,000 people in your book of business, but you can't do that. And so you learn how to prioritize and you learn how to be decisive. Okay, and this ends up being a really useful skill and one that you may not necessarily need to develop in school, at least not in school. Lots of optionality of the SDR role. The skills translate to most any position. And then lastly, being in the top 10% of SDRs on your team puts you on a crazy career trajectory. Okay, so a lot of you will be starting as SDR at some other company. I would highly recommend making it a goal to be one of the top 10% of SDRs. And the reason for that is if you're a top 10% SDR, that's like a very measurable, quantifiable accomplishment that is very highly valued. And people that are able to accomplish that ends up making a very inordinate impact on the rest of your career.